Welcome everyone to VLAMP, Video, Lighting, Audio, Music, and Photography. I'm of course your host, Matt Haslam, and I'm super excited for this new series on our channel here. It's a series that we're going to go through the entire editing process. It's a walkthrough series that's going to take you step by step of how to edit an entire project from beginning to end, from the moment we import the footage to the moment we export that video onto YouTube, Vimeo, and put it on the website. So it's a brand new series that I'm super excited about, and I hope you guys are excited about it as well. If you like this style of video, then please do like, comment, and subscribe and let us know. There's no way I continue a series without you guys liking it. If you don't like it, then there's no sense in me making it. So please do that if you like this style video. Now, keep in mind, this is the very first one of these style videos, so bear with me if not everything goes as perfect as some other YouTubers who do this 100% of the time, and they have all the programs and stuff like that to record the screen. We're doing this on a GoPro and an audio program that's recording my voice and the audio out of this video right now. Just bear that in mind. But regardless, we're going to go through how to edit an entire commercial from beginning to end. Now, here's what you first have to understand. This is a video that's going to be for my production website. And for those of you who don't know, this is my company, Matt Haslam Productions, which VLAMP is just a branch of. But I need a video that's going to go directly on the home page over here. And this video that's right in the center here that's not popping up for some reason right now. But there's a video right there normally. And basically this video has to showcase who we are, what we do, and it has to be short, sweet, and to the point, right? And that same video we're planning on putting on the About Us page over here on the right-hand side later on. Right now, this is a brand new design that we're just coming out with, and we want to really showcase our best work right there on the home page when this new design hits the published web. Right now, it is just saved. It is not published, and we're waiting for this video to be edited to put on there, because we don't want to put a old video out on a brand new design. So that's why we need this video. But the first thing I did in making this commercial was I wrote a script, and here's the actual script right here. It's about a page and a quarter long with 14-point font, which is an alright script. It might be a little bit long. I might have to cut it down later. We'll have to see once we get in the edit room, once we get into the Premiere Pro over here. But basically, a couple days ago, I went to the MHP audio recording studio and I recorded this voiceover of this script. And that script is now right here in our Premiere Pro. And I already imported some of the footage we're going to need and all of the audio we're going to need. So it's all right here ready to go for us. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to first go through all of the audio in this project and cut down to the absolute best of the best takes of each and every line of this script. And I'll go through exactly how I did this, but basically what I did in the audio recording studio was I went through each paragraph one at a time and recorded each one of them multiple times. And there was some mistakes. There was quite a few mistakes actually that you're going to hear. But I went through each one of them, and that's what you want to do with your talent. You want to have them go through each and every paragraph once, and then twice, and maybe even 3 times. That way you have different, what we're going to call emotions in the audio. For instance, in this script, I can say, welcome to matthaslamproductions.com, or I can say, welcome to matthaslamproductions.com. I can have different enthusiasm in how I'm saying it. And so I want to choose the best take of that later on in Premiere. Now, I'm using Adobe Premiere. Some of you might be using Final Cut, and that is absolutely fine. I use Final Cut at my other jobs all the time. I know how to use it. I'm just using Premiere Pro because the edit bay we're on right now is a PC, and it doesn't have Final Cut because it's not an Apple computer, because, you know, Apple products only work with Apple. I don't know. Don't ask me. That's an Apple question, and if you ask me, it's really wrong of them to take one of the major programs away from PC users and make them buy Apple products. But this is one of our edit bays here at Matt Haslam Productions, and we're going to go through the entire thing in Premiere Pro. Again, everything you learn is going to be transferable to Final Cut, to Sony Vegas, to Magic's Video Pro X, whatever you use. I used to use Magic Video Pro X4, I believe it was, and it worked absolutely fine with this style of editing. So basically, everything I'm going to teach you is going to be stuff that you can take to any editing program and use it, and it's going to help you so much. Promise you. So basically, the first thing to do is go through your audio. And why we do this is so that we know the overall length. Everything we're going to do, let's say we bring a video clip in, and we say, I want this video clip to last just as long as I'm talking about that topic. So if I'm talking about sports, and I have a little video clip here of Mart's Hall, which is a local stadium, a basketball court that we have nearby, and it's in time lapse of their basketball game ending and everyone clearing out. So I want that clip to last only as long as I'm talking about the sports. So how do I know how long that video clip needs to last until I get my voiceover all perfected and I know how long the voiceover is talking about sports? So that's why we first have to go through all of the audio and figure out exactly how long each section is going to be. This is where we're going to take all of the gaps in between words out that we don't want in there. We're going to figure out the pacing of the entire video, and we're going to figure out pretty much how long the video is going to be, everything. This is our main step. It's a long step, but it's one that needs to be done before you even start bringing any sort of video footage into your project. That said, if you have a commercial that, you know, you shot and recorded audio at the same time, then things are going to be definitely different for your commercial. This one is a complete voiceover commercial, so we can go in here and record and also edit this voiceover first before even starting with the video footage. If you want to see that part, that's probably going to be in part 2 or part 3 of this entire thing, because I'm going to try to make these episodes about 30 minutes long. I'm going to try to. No promises, but I'm going to try to, if I remember to stop at 30 minutes, which is why I have a timer set. But here's our first initial take of everything, all the recording. Now, I didn't stop the recording in between takes. I just did one very long take, which is 12.5 minutes long. And within that 12.5 minutes is our entire voiceover for the entire commercial. So let's start actually editing this entire voiceover down to the best of the best. Let's go. Welcome to Matt Haslam Productions. Welcome to Matt Haslam Productions. All right, so that first time I really fumbled in the very beginning, so I'm just going to trim that off with our little tool here. And why I do this is because I want to just get rid of that bad section as soon as possible. If I know I made a mistake and it's a big mistake, I'm going to just get rid of that whole section as soon as I can, because I don't want there to be any chance that section ends up in our end mix. I want to just move on and get rid of it, which is the same thing I'm going to do later with other sections. I'm going to just cut, let's say, this section out, and I'm just going to take that out of there and delete it. But for right now, I'm going to keep it in there because I don't know if I want to get rid of it yet. Welcome to MattHaslamProductions.com, the area's most recommended since 2001. I actually like the enthusiasm in that. Let's listen to that one more time just to make sure. Welcome to MattHaslamProductions.com, the area's most recommended since 2001. really, really good. That's a solid recording of that, and it's pretty enthusiastic. I mean, I don't want it to be too enthusiastic, and I know I'm being very critical, even though this is my voiceover. This is a voiceover I recorded myself, and it's a script I wrote myself. I know that, but as an editor, I now have to sit back and be just as critical of even my voiceover as anyone else's voiceover. I have to be critical on every single thing. So I have to say to myself, did I say every single word correctly? Did I say it enthusiastically? Am I too enthusiastic that I sound sarcastic almost? I have to ask myself all those hard questions in order to make a fair judgment of whether or not that section of the voiceover will remain in the end video. Even if I have to cut whole sentences out, I will do it just because it's not going to sound right, you know? 1001. Our company specializes in helping both live event and recorded productions, both large and small. That sounds pretty good. I'm just going to keep going here until I find a spot that I really don't like, and then we'll cut it. Whether you need a simple microphone and speaker or a convoy of trucks, MHP has the area's most recommended and affordable solution perfect for you. Alright, now here I'm going to be really critical of my own voiceover, but it needs to be said here. P has the area's most recommended. The area's most. You hear that? It's just emphasized on the wrong syllable there. I want to somehow find a recording in here of me saying, I'm just going to call it the voiceover artist and the talent saying, because it's a lot easier to understand. Because me saying, well, I'm going to find a good recording of me saying that makes it a little confusing. So I'm just going to say the talent saying it just to make it more understandable for you guys out there listening to this. But MHP has the area's most, just on the wrong syllable. So. Area's most recommended and affordable solution perfect for you. I like it, but again, I want to find a better recording of that. But right now, I'm just going to keep it in there because the rest of this is actually pretty good that I might want to keep. Over the years, our video production services have captured thousands of hours of content for both television and private clientele. We've captured breaking stories for local news and documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama clubs, weddings, community and private events for individual needs, and much, much more. Alright, so there's a couple parts I want to maybe replace in that, but again, still not bad enough to take the entire thing out right now. And then here's what I do in editing all the time. I go through and I basically say, well, this is good for right now until I find something better. If I find that line was said better later on, I'm going to come back and delete this. And the reason for that is I don't want to get rid of something that I'm going to need later, you know? I don't want to forget that there's a script to this. So if I delete, let's say, this line, and then I forget to come back to it later, and let's say I go through the entire editing process and that line was said again, but I think to myself, was that the line that I cut out of there? I don't want to think that to myself. I don't want to accidentally miss a line completely from the script. So I'm going to keep it in there until I find another time I said that was better, and I replace it then and there. But until it's replaced, I don't delete it. So now I'm going to go back to Premiere. And what I always try to do here is, see this little section right here that's completely blank. There is no audio from here to about here, right? That's about 2 seconds long. There's no audio at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that back, and that way there is nothing there at all. Now, some of you might ask why I'm doing that little tiny thing. That means nothing. If this line right here is bad, welcome to Matt Haslam Productions. Yeah, actually it is. So that's a scratch anyway. So I'm going to take that out of there. So now I have a section over here which is usable, but there are certain parts which I want to replace with stuff that's going to be in here somewhere. But I'm going to keep this little tiny section open in the middle here, just in case. And why that is because, well, let's just give you an example here. Ripple delete there, that way it goes to the very beginning. And now, again, I have this little section. Why I do this is because if for some reason I get called away to other work, or I have to go somewhere, or I have a meeting, whatever happens, right? I'm editing now with a small little area here to tell me where I was in my edit. So let's say I go through here. Welcome to MattHaslamProductions.com, the area's most recommended since 2001. I really like that, actually. So I might end up using this. But now I made it that far in my edit. And now I have my open section right here. So I'm telling myself later that here's where I stopped editing for the day. So when I come back tomorrow or a week from now or whenever I come back to this edit, I can go through and say, okay, well, right here is where I stopped, so right here is where I have to begin again. I can go through and I can listen to this entire project over again because it's only about a minute long so far. Only about 53 seconds long so far. So it's not that bad. But let's say I'm working on a 2-hour long project. Like it's a school play or something like that, or school musical, or let's say I'm working on a wedding that's an hour long, or I'm working on a documentary that has, 50, 60 hours of footage. I don't want to come back and have to review what I already did over here just to move on and figure out where I was. I want to just come in and figure out where I was and move from there. And the easiest way to do that is just to keep yourself a little marker here of, hey, here's where I stopped, Now, different editors might have different styles and stuff like that, so maybe you'll come up with your own way to do this, but that's just my way to do it. And I'm not saying it's the most perfect way. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is how I do it typically. So I'm showing you how I do it. Now, that said, let's move on to the next line. Our company specializes in helping both live event and recorded productions, both large and small. I like that again. See, and here's what we have to do. We have to go through and be as critical as possible because, I'm not saying, I'm the perfect voiceover artist. I'm not, okay? But we have to be really critical because these lines are so important in the end commercial. So I'm going to cut it here, and once we get all the good takes out of here, we're going to go through one more time and pick our favorite of those. So we're going to go through this line along with the last time I said that from way back in the beginning, and we're going to pick the best time I said that and choose it for our end video. Whether you need a simple... See, I'm just going to take that out of there because, again, it's scrap. Whether you need a simple microphone and speaker or a convoy of trucks, MHP has the area's most recommended and affordable solution perfect for you. Okay, so here's what I want to point out next. This part right here, whether you need a simple microphone and speaker or a convoy of trucks, that is really well said. So I'm going to take that. MHP has the area's most recommended, but that part, again, there's an emphasis on that area, like the E of the area, right? And I don't want that. So I'm going to cut this part out because I don't like that. But here, an affordable solution perfect for you. That, again, is pretty well done. So I'm going to keep that section. What we're going to do in just a second here, we're going to take both of these clips right here and put the other section in the middle from the previous time I said this line, and then it's going to be pretty much perfect. So let's go back into the very beginning of this project. Easier to scroll here. The area's most recommended since 2001. Our company specializes in whether you need a simple microphone and speaker or a convoy of trucks. Okay, so right there is where our edit actually is. MHP has the area's most recommended, an affordable solution perfect for you. So I'm going to take this part out of there and that part out of there, and I'm going to replace that with this and this. Zoom out a little bit here just to get our bearings. Oh, and I was somewhere around there. It is most recommended. I'm going to take those two, put them on channel 2, that way I know which ones are which, and bring them way over here to the almost the very beginning. And there's probably a better way to do this, but just for right now, this is the way I'm going to do it. Probably like screaming at me, Matt, hit this button and it's going to be so much easier for you. But here we go. So we're going to bring it over here, bring it up, slide that one over, and bring that one over there. Bring it up. I don't know why it's not doing that. One thing I really dislike about Premiere, everything snaps to that blue line. But anyway, now I'm going to bring that over and Ripple delete it. And now we're going to listen one more time. Large and small. Whether you need a simple microphone and speaker or a convoy of trucks, MHP has the area's most recommended and affordable solution perfect for you. Well, now, here's what we have to look at right here. MHP and affordable. There's a little pop right when it hits that cut. Don't worry about that. We'll worry about that later once we get into audio mixing at the very end of this. What we're trying to do right now is just get the best lines, and then we'll actually go in here and mix those two together so there's not that little pop anymore. But that sounds pretty good so far. Moving on here to the next line. Over the years, our video production services have captured thousands of hours of content for both television and private clientele. We've captured breaking stories for local news and documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama clubs, weddings, community and private events for individual needs, and much, much more. Okay, so right here, musicals for school drama, right there, that's not the perfect way to say schools. Musicals for school drama clubs. Okay, so we're going to have to look for a better time I said that line. But overall, this is pretty good right here. So we're going to keep that, and I like that a lot. Specializes in helping both live event and recorded productions, both large and small. Weddings, community and private events for individual needs, and much, much more. Okay, well, I'm going to actually bring this down here on channel 2 just for the second. Mute it, and we're going to bring this one over. Now, why am I doing this? Well, I'm going to go back into this line right here. PBS, HBO, and Showtime. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama clubs. All right, so that school drama club is pretty good. But right here, cut it right there. Weddings, community and private events for individual needs, and much. That's a weird pacing of how to say that line. Private events for community and private events for individual needs. All right, community and private events for an individual need. That makes no sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that whole section out, and we're going to get a better take where it says community and private events for individual needs, all in one statement. Over the years, our video production services have captured thousands of hours of content for both television and private clientele. We've captured breaking stories for local news and documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. Okay, so here's what I want to do with this line. This section is bad, but this section right here, the initial section right now, I'll show it to you again. Over the years, our video production services have captured thousands of hours of content for both television and private clientele. I like the enthusiasm there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this over, and we're going to replace the line. Breaking story. Sorry about that. We're going to replace the line. Over the years, our video production services have captured thousands of hours of content for both television and private clientele. We're going to replace the line right there. So we're going to take that out, bring this over, and boom. Cut it down, let's say, wait, hold on. We've Over the years, our video production services have captured thousands of hours of content for both television and private clientele. We've captured breaking stories for local news. We've captured breaking stories for local news and documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. Okay, that's a little too quick there. But we've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama clubs. But I like that right there. So, again, I know this is very, very tedious, but we have to be tedious and we have to be critical. And documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. And documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama clubs, weddings, community and private events for individual needs, and much, much more. Okay, so this is the line. And documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. We're going to bring that over to here. Breaking stories for local news, and documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama. All right, those two sound pretty much identical, so I'm just going to leave that one in there so we have less work to do later in mixing. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama clubs. Musicals for school drama clubs. Weddings, community and private events for individual needs, and much, much more. All right, that sounds really good. And that takes us to, where is it? This whole section is complete now. So now we just go from there, basically. But here, before we move on, we have these two right here that I want to talk about a little bit more. Welcome to MattHaslamProductions.com. See, in the very beginning we said, welcome to MattHaslamProductions.com. The area's most recommended since 2001. I like the enthusiasm there more. So now that I hear both of them back to back, which is what you need to do, it does not matter how long it takes. They need to be back to back, and you need to hear them, replay them, and to no end, you're going to hear this commercial 50,000 times before you're done it. That's what you do as an audio engineer and audio editor. You have to listen to things 50 times. You have to listen to things over and over and over again until you think it sounds perfect. And that's what we're doing right here. Welcome to MattHaslamProductions.com, the area's most recommended since 2001. See, I like that I like that first time a lot more, though. Our company specializes in helping both live event and recorded productions, both large and small. Okay, so does that line sound just as good? Our company specializes in helping both live event and recorded productions, both large and small. Okay, so that kind of gets bassy a little bit, I want to say. You probably heard it in there of the first one, which is way over here. Sounds a little more, I want to say there's more energy in it, just because that's the only real adjective I can come up with right now. But I hope you understand what I mean by that. If you don't, please comment below and I will answer. But that is how it sounds so far. Now, here's the thing. We're at about 30 minutes and we've only got this first 2 paragraphs edited down. I'll let you listen to it here at the very end of what we did so far. but it went pretty slow because we had to first introduce the whole series here, and I went through why we need this video and all that kind of stuff. So we didn't get too much done in this first episode, but we're going to go from here. And in the next episode, we're going to finish out editing all this audio down for the remaining parts of the script, and we're going to get all of this whole section edited down to the best of the best, because we don't need to really introduce the series anymore. We're already in the series, and I'm going to let you listen to this to end it out. Thank you all for joining us, and again, please do like, comment, and subscribe. The only way I know you guys like these series if you like and comment on them and tell us that you like them. If you don't like them, then let us know. I really want your feedback, and your feedback is the only way I know what to do next on this channel. So I really do need, and I very much appreciate that feedback and letting us know that. So like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions so far, please do leave those in the comment section below. Again, this whole video is probably out by the time you see this series coming out of how this commercial was made. But for right now, I hope you enjoy what we created so far. See us next time for editing the remaining audio, and part 3 for starting to edit the video portion of this project. Welcome to MattHaslamProductions.com, the area's most recommended since 2001. Our company specializes in helping both live event and recorded productions, both large and small. Whether you need a simple microphone and speaker or a convoy of trucks, MHP has the area's most recommended and affordable solution perfect for you. Over the years, our video production services have captured thousands of hours of content for both television and private clientele. We've captured breaking stories for local news and documentaries for PBS, HBO, and Showtime. We've been asked to film commercials for White Castle, musicals for school drama clubs, weddings, community and private events for individual needs, and much, much more.